everyone, welcome back to Lucky by Nature. Angelic Vixen here. So in this video we are going to talk about the delivery crate, and I have a lot of information to share with you. So this is actually going to be a much longer video than usual. The first thing that I want to show you, I could tell you, but I always prefer to show you. That way there's less speculation, and if I do something wrong, you guys can actually see it. And I feel like that's really imperative in our community, is to help each other. So the first thing I'm showing is you cannot lift these off under anything. So there can't be anything above you, and that can be as simple as a bridge or any kind of formation right above you. It will not lift off. And because it will not lift off, it also will not go under anything if you're trying to send it somewhere where you have to go under something. So just be very aware of that on where you're located. Now, there's going to be a lot of people that actually set up base in the forest, and that's going to be a problem. However, you can go to the top and maybe set up a zone for yourself if you're going to use the delivery crates to have them go to a different area. Now, also keep in mind, on the map, it doesn't allow you to put in the points. So you have to either round up or round down. So let's say it's 47.9. You're going to want to go to 48. If it's 47.4, depending on the size of your area, you're either going to want to go down or up just by one. You know, like say it's 49 or it's 50, you know, something like that. Now, not every area that looks like it'll lift off will actually lift off, and I'm going to show you that right here. Again, trying to show you. So it looks like it's pretty clear, you know. Doesn't look like there'll be any issue whatsoever right here, but there is. So you got to really kind of play with this and fiddle with it to find locations that really do work. Now, on other maps, I see this being a lot easier, but on Extinction, you do have to factor all that. Now, I went to the top. As you can see on my GPS, it's still here. And I'm lifting it off, and what I have it going to is where I started, down at the forest base, and that's what I'm calling it, the forest base on my map. So I set it to go there, and I want to show you exactly what it does when you set it for a location under something and where it will go. And this is going to be a little bit longer because I am going to play it all the way through. But again, I feel it is so imperative that you physically see what it does, okay? So it does this weird thing where it'll shoot up, then it'll shoot down, and then it'll shoot up, and then it'll shoot back down. And it goes really fast, okay? So again, if you're following it on a dyno, you know, trying to keep it safe, those are variables you need to factor on the way that it works. And that's why I'm showing it, because I feel like if you don't see it, maybe you're not going to be able to, you know, plan for it, especially if you're not used to using them. Once you get used to them, it's so much easier. But in the beginning, I want you to see exactly how their mechanic works, because I know a lot of people are going to be like, oh man, I got to protect this thing. And yeah, you do. I mean, you really do. So I'm putting my bird in infinite stat so I can stay with this thing without having to land. All right, so as you saw how it went down, now it's back up. And again, this is set to go back down exactly where we started. I use those coordinates for my forest base. And as you can see where it's going, okay? So we're going to follow it, and we still got a little bit of time here before it actually goes to a location. And do you see how it went through? At first I was like, oh man, it's going to crash. But they don't. They will go through, and then they will go up. So again, these are things I wanted you to physically see. Okay, so now we're getting closer to the area in the forest under everything that I am, and you'll see exactly what happens. And I sent another balloon, and I lost it because I couldn't keep up with it. That's how I knew that this was happening. So you'll get to see that too, because the other balloon package landed. And when they land, they explode. So you are going to want to be there or have somebody in your tribe there when they land, because anybody can get your stuff. So if you're sending, let's say, metal or some sort of really important resource back to your base, if you don't have somebody there, the chances are somebody's going to follow your balloon, it's going to explode, and then they're going to get it. So I don't want you to be unaware of that fact, because I can guarantee you people are going to be trolling these things. They're going to see them going, and they're going to be like, oh, heck yeah, I'm going. So in PvP especially, you are basically giving them a direct route to wherever you have your stuff. So if you're newer to PvP, keep that in the back of your mind, that you are giving them a direct shot to wherever it is your resources are going to land. I guarantee you, if they don't shoot it down, they're going to follow it to see exactly where you're sending it. Now, I see delivery crates being really beneficial in PvE, but in PvP, you're going to have to be extra careful. And I just wanted to bring that up because there are a lot of new people in PvP and they're learning the game. So if you're new, to PvP, just keep that in the back of your mind. All right, so as you can see, this is where it landed. It's set to go to the forest base, which is directly straight down under all of this. Okay, and you can see my other little baggie there from the other balloon that I sent that I lost. Okay, and then it'll explode, it will land, and then you can go into the baggies and get it. Now, depending on where it lands, that can be a problem. Like, look at this edge. If I'm not careful here, I could go right off the side. Okay, the difference is I'm being, careful because I have GCM, but if you're not having that, you need to make sure you have parachutes because anything can go wrong. I had sent all my coloring from before over, but that is very important, so I wanted to show you that. Now, the other thing I want to show you is you cannot place C4 on the crate. They're easy to blow up if you put it under the crate, but you cannot put them directly on the crate. And that was a question we kept getting. And, I was trying to get this video out, but I was doing so much testing. And we have so much other testing that we've done that's not even in this video that I want to show you. This is like some of just the more important stuff, but we have some really good stuff to show you. So again, you cannot put C4 on there. A lot of people were very worried about that because they're like, man, you can send these crates, over to somebody's base with C4 and then blow it up. But no, you don't have to worry about that. Now, the next thing that I'm going to show you is the grapple. You can grapple to these things. You just have to be very careful not to run into it because you will, fall. It will break. The line will break and you will fall. So make sure if you are doing any of these techniques, you have a parachute with you to keep you safe. Okay, it's super important. Okay. Now, with the locations, I kept adding locations and it kept accepting all of my locations, okay? So this is in the very beginning when I didn't have any locations set. So I had to learn how to do all of this stuff. Basically, you go to your map and like on PC where I'm doing the testing, you select P and then you put in the coordinates. Again, you cannot put in the period, so you have to estimate up or down, however. So I just put in 50-50, okay? Because I just wanted to put something on the map to be able to test out the grapple. And this was my very first testing. As you can see here, they're not exactly in order from all my testing because I have spent hours doing this because I wanted to give you really helpful stuff in this video. And if you like that thumbnail, that stuff's coming next where I'm going to show you some really cool stuff that you can do. There are tricks to it though. Okay, so now I'm deploying it. I'm going to get my grapple out here in a second. And it's going up, you shoot it, and you go. Okay, just make sure you don't hit it. You want to leave a little bit of room between you and the balloon because if you hit it, it's going to break. But I wanted that, to be very clear. Okay, so now we're moving on to the next thing, and this is the part I think a lot of you are here for. This is how it works. You can fill the crate completely, okay, to the brim, the max amount. You cannot have anything in the dino inventory except the saddle. You can fill yourself up to nearly encumbered. As you can see here, I have a whole bunch of locations on the map on this one. To the brim of your own, as long as you can walk, okay? And then, bam. And I'm going to let this go all the way through. So we're just going to hang out and talk about the stuff that I've, learned about the delivery crate. Because I want you to see, because one of the things about the gas bags that everyone should be worried about is their landing. Because the fall damage on these guys is so bad. Like, shockingly bad. Like, I lost a couple gas bags just by trying to land the most gentle as possible. And they nearly died on me. So the reason I'm going to let it play all the way through is because I want you to see how this thing lands. If you don't want to wait and you want to fast forward, I will tell you it lands soft. But if you want to physically see it so you can see the mechanics of it, follow this all the way through. Now, I've tested different things. You can carry so much stuff, and it's not just the gas bag that you can carry, but the reason this is very important, and I don't know if this was a mechanic wildcard intended, and I don't know if they're going to change it in the future. They may if they see some, if this becomes like an exploit. Right now, I just see it being beneficial for one, you keep your gas bag safe because they're not fighters. Okay, and two, you basically can go from point A to point B on your delivery crate without having to worry about the landing, because the landing with these guys is a problem, right? So this is a great way to travel. Keep your delivery crates made, keep them with you, and you can take them around the map as long as you have your, locations set on your map. If you're very specific, I mean, you could send these things from one spot to another so easily. Or let's say you tame them, right? And you're trying to get the heck out of wherever you're at. You can carry these on the delivery crate, safe and sound, no worries. You're off the ground. The only thing you would have to worry about is flyers. Depending on where you are, that could be a factor. Again, these are all things I want you to think outside the box. I say that a lot in like a lot of the videos because one thing about this game is it really gets interesting when you get creative, and there's so many ways to utilize a lot of this stuff. Okay. So as you can see, I'm just cruising along. You can't be in any kind of hurry when you're doing this. You have to have patience, listen to some music, do something, but it's very, very chill. It just doesn't have the speed to go along with it. And that is the other reason why I am showing you how long this takes, because from where I was to where I'm going, this will take a couple of minutes. Okay. And this is not even as far as most people will probably be going from their delivery crates to their, let's say, base or their fobs or whatever. Okay. But this is not the only thing that I'm going to show you, so I definitely recommend you sticking around for the next part of this video because I am going to show you two more really essential dinos that you can do this with. One is a little bit trickier to get on the crate, which is why I show it instead of just say it, because it's not fair to you for me to tell you stuff without actually showing it to you. Some people get mad at me because I do talk a lot and I do try to show as much as possible, but if you really think about it, I mean well. I'm not trying to waste your time because if you notice, most of our videos are under 10 minutes. But I feel it's imperative in some of this that you physically see the actual mechanic of stuff instead of me just saying it. I don't feel like a lot of times for a lot of you, that's going to be beneficial, and I feel it would be unfair of me to say, hey, you can do this, and then just move on. That's not cool. I would feel bad if I actually did that. So bear with me. Again, this video is just, slightly longer than our usual. So now we're coming down, and as you see, it took a few minutes to go from that point to this point, and they're not that far away. But it's worth it when it comes to protecting your gas bag. Gas bags, they need to be babied because they're very fragile. They're extremely fragile. And it's kind of disappointing that they made them that fragile for landing because it's very hard to control them upon landing. I've learned a few tricks on getting them to land soft, but it's still really tediously frustrating, right? You're like, I don't want to lose the gas bag that I just tamed. And look how gentle. Boom. Now, the crate will not explode until you get off of the dino. The dino basically protects the crate from exploding, which I found to be really interesting, actually, because, I was like, oh, well, that's actually nice because then you can control when it pops. And then I got off, boom. Now it's there, nice and safe, and I'm just, opening up GCM so I can grab all this metal. All right, now on to the anky. Yes, guys, you can carry the anky. All right. So I have, the delivery crate can be full. I don't have it full right now, but it can be full as long as you do not have anything on the dino. No inventory in the dino except the saddle. And you can carry stuff on your person as long as you can actually physically move to get on the dino. Okay, so as you see that little lift that it does, you walk up to it and it does this little lift. You're not on it until it does that little lifty thing. Replay that part if you need to see it again, and then boom, you're up on the anky. And I'm not going to make you go through from point A to point B with the anky, but I'm going to show you just, the initial lift off because, again, I want you to see what it looks like, how it works, and how it glides. So everything again. So you still can carry a lot if you think about it. 5,000 weight on the crate, and whatever your weight is minus just enough so you can actually walk. Okay, so let's say you have 400 weight, 500 weight. Everybody's different on what they focus on. Or maybe you have a character that focuses a lot on weight, like a tribe member that's like, hey, that's my thing. I do weight. So you can have a ridiculous amount of weight to do this, and you can carry your dinos, your worker dinos, to and from locations. So let's say you're looking at a metal zone. You put it on your map, okay? You have your base or your fob or your drop-off location for your resources at another spot. You take the anky to that spot. You could take it even via the delivery crate. It will, burst right there, and then you get all the metal you want to get. You fill up the delivery crate. You fill up your person as much as you can. You get back on the anky, you get on the delivery crate. It takes you back to where, let's say you're going to actually have your forges for your metal. There's so much to this, okay? Now this is the next one that I'm going to show you, and that's the doed. This one gets a little bit more tricky because it doesn't get on it the same way. Okay, you have to physically move it around a little bit, but watch. You'll see when I get on it. Boom. You have to kind of go off to the side as you see where I'm at. It doesn't even look like I'm on it, but I'm on it. And it's the same thing. You can do all of your resource gathering with your delivery crates if you actually pick the right spots. And you're going to want to look for areas that aren't necessarily too dangerous, or you could even have, let's say, you know, like in PvE, you could have Rexes over where you're going to be like, okay, I'm going to clear this area, then I'm going to do my resources, and then I'm going to come back with my, you know, delivery crate. PvP is a little bit different. But I know you guys are really clever. You guys are awesome, like super clever. You're going to be able to figure out ways to make this work. But this is a lot of information to take in about the delivery crate. If I missed anything that you also know about that's super important, be sure to share it in the comments, because I really want our art community to be super successful. And that's what we focus on. We focus on you guys' success. But that's it for this video, guys. Love you, and thank you so much for watching. And until next time, keep surviving.
My work saved the human race.